Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. The rumor circulating around the league right now feels like one of those stories that starts quietly in the background and suddenly takes over every conversation, every debate, every comment section. Aaron Charles Rodgers, a name that carries weight, legacy, and controversy wherever it goes, is being whispered as a quarterback who may not be long for Pittsburgh. The idea of Rodgers leaving the Steelers is not being shouted by official sources or confirmed by anyone willing to put their name on record, but the tone around the organization has shifted in a way that longtime observers recognize immediately. There's a sense of uncertainty, a strange hesitation in how people talk about the future, and that hesitation fuels speculation. Rodgers arrived with expectations, not just to play, but to elevate, to stabilize, to give Pittsburgh something it has been searching for since the end of a previous era. Yet behind closed doors, questions seem to be growing louder. Does he fully buy into the direction of the franchise? Does the franchise fully commit to shaping itself around him? Those questions rarely exist for long without consequences. When a quarterback of Rodgers' stature feels misaligned, even subtly, the ripple effect spreads through coaches, teammates, and front office staff. Pittsburgh is a proud organization, rooted in tradition, but tradition can sometimes clash with strong personalities. And Rodgers, for better or worse, has always been exactly that, a strong personality. From the outside, everything may look calm, even functional, but insiders and analysts who follow the Steelers closely are picking up on signals that are difficult to ignore. Body language on the sideline, carefully chosen words during interviews, and the absence of definitive statements about the long term all contribute to a growing narrative. Rodgers has never been shy about expressing his thoughts, even when those thoughts make people uncomfortable. In Pittsburgh, a city that values toughness and loyalty, that openness can be interpreted in multiple ways. Some see it as leadership, others as restlessness. The rumor suggests that Rodgers might be questioning whether this chapter aligns with how he wants to finish his career. That is not a small consideration for a quarterback who has already accomplished so much. The Steelers, meanwhile, are known for stability and patience, but patience can wear thin when visions do not align perfectly. The front office may be weighing difficult scenarios, including whether adapting fully to Rodgers is worth potential long-term complications. This kind of tension does not always explode dramatically. Sometimes it simmers, quietly, until one unexpected move changes everything. And in a league driven by timing and leverage, even a rumor can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Part of what makes this speculation feel believable is the history of Aaron Rodgers himself. Throughout his career, he has never been just another quarterback following orders. He has always wanted a voice, a say in decisions, and an environment that respects his football intellect. When those elements are present, he thrives. When they are not, frustration tends to surface. Pittsburgh's culture emphasizes team above individual, system above star, and that philosophy has brought them decades of success. But integrating a quarterback like Rodgers into that structure is not simple. It requires compromise on both sides. The rumors suggest that compromise may not be happening as smoothly as hoped. Teammates may sense the uncertainty, even if nothing is said out loud. Coaches may feel caught between managing the locker room and protecting the organizational identity. Fans, meanwhile, are left trying to read between the lines, dissecting every comment and every silence. The idea of Rodgers leaving so soon after arriving feels jarring, but not impossible. The league has shown time and again that star quarterbacks move when alignment breaks down. And when alignment breaks down, it rarely repairs itself quietly. It usually ends with a clean break that everyone claims was mutual, even if it clearly was not. Another layer to this rumor involves what comes next, and that is where the speculation truly heats up. If Rodgers were to move on from the Steelers, it would not be a simple retirement into the background. Teams across the league would immediately assess their own situations, wondering if they could be the next landing spot. That possibility alone changes how Pittsburgh must think about its future. Do they prepare for life after Rodgers now? Or do they double down and attempt to convince him that this is the right place? The uncertainty can affect roster planning, draft strategy, and even how younger players are developed. Rodgers' presence demands attention and resources, and if that presence is temporary, those investments carry risk. The rumor implies that internal discussions may already be happening, not as panic, but as precaution. Smart organizations plan for multiple outcomes, especially when dealing with a quarterback whose career decisions have often surprised the public. The Steelers do not leak information easily, which is why the lack of clarity feels louder than words. Silence, in this context, becomes its own message. And that message is enough to keep the rumor alive, growing stronger with each passing moment. There is also the human element, which often gets lost in strategic talk. Aaron Rodgers is not just a name on a depth chart. He is a veteran navigating the final stretch of a demanding career. Pittsburgh is not just a logo, but a city with expectations, scrutiny, and emotional investment. The rumor of separation suggests that both sides may be reflecting deeply on what they truly want. Does Rodgers want one last run in a system that challenges him differently? Or does he want comfort and familiarity? Does Pittsburgh want to continue shaping its future around a veteran voice, or pivot toward a longer-term vision? These questions do not have easy answers, and when they remain unanswered, rumors flourish. The absence of denial often speaks volumes in professional sports. And right now, the idea of Aaron Rodgers leaving the Steelers sits in that uncomfortable space where nothing is confirmed, yet nothing feels completely stable either. As the speculation continues, fans are left oscillating between hope and skepticism. Some believe the rumor is exaggerated, a product of modern sports media that thrives on uncertainty. Others feel that where there is smoke, there is fire, especially when it involves a quarterback with a complex relationship history with organizations. Rodgers has always marched to his own rhythm, and that rhythm does not always sync perfectly with institutional expectations. Pittsburgh, for all its success, has rarely dealt with a situation quite like this. The rumor forces everyone to imagine an alternate reality, one where this partnership ends sooner than planned. Whether that reality comes to pass or fades away, the mere existence of the rumor reveals cracks that were not visible before. And in a league as competitive and unforgiving as this one, even small cracks can widen quickly. The second part of this rumor dives deeper into what people believe might be happening behind the scenes, where official statements cannot reach. There is a sense that conversations between Rodgers and the organization may have reached a plateau, polite on the surface but unresolved underneath. Those who follow locker room dynamics understand that when a quarterback feels unheard, it rarely stays private for long. Subtle cues emerge, like reduced enthusiasm, guarded language, or a noticeable distance between player and leadership. The Steelers have always prided themselves on unity, but unity is tested most when expectations differ. The rumor paints a picture of two sides respecting each other, yet quietly acknowledging that their timelines and philosophies may not perfectly overlap. Rodgers, with his experience and accomplishments, may be less willing to wait or compromise at this stage. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, may be cautious about bending too far for any one individual, regardless of status. That tension is fertile ground for speculation, and it gives the rumor credibility in the eyes of many observers. Adding fuel to the fire is the broader context of the league itself. Quarterback movement has become more fluid, less taboo, and more strategic than ever before. What once seemed unthinkable now feels routine. A quarterback of Rodgers' caliber considering another move no longer shocks fans the way it might have years ago. This normalization makes the rumor easier to believe. Pittsburgh fans, known for their loyalty, are now forced to confront a scenario where loyalty may not be enough to hold everything together. The organization has always valued stability, but stability does not mean stagnation. If leadership believes that moving on sooner rather than later is the smarter path, they may act decisively, even if it means letting go of Star. The rumors suggest that such calculations are at least being discussed, even if no decision has been made. And in professional sports, the act of discussion alone can change outcomes. There is also speculation about how Rodgers himself views his legacy in relation to Pittsburgh. Joining such a storied franchise comes with immense pressure and opportunity. If he feels that the situation does not allow him to control his narrative or maximize his final years, that dissatisfaction can grow quietly. Rodgers has always been mindful of how his career will be remembered. Ending a chapter on uncertain terms may not align with his personal vision. The rumor implies that he may be weighing options that allow him to exit on his own terms, rather than waiting for circumstances to force his hand. That mindset would explain the subtle distance some believe they are sensing. It would also explain why the organization might be preparing for multiple futures, even while publicly projecting calm. From the perspective of teammates, a potential departure creates its own emotional undercurrent. Younger players may look to Rodgers as a mentor, someone who elevates the room simply by being present. Veterans may appreciate his experience and confidence. The idea that he could leave introduces uncertainty that affects preparation and trust. Even if no one speaks about it openly, players feel it. Football is a sport built on cohesion, and rumors can disrupt that cohesion more than injuries or losses. The Steelers know this, which is why the persistence of the rumor feels significant. If it were completely unfounded, many believe it would have been shut down decisively. Instead, it lingers, evolving with each new interpretation and each new silence. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. As this rumor stretches on, another angle that fans and analysts keep circling back to is the emotional disconnect that can happen when expectations evolve faster than reality. Aaron Rodgers arrived in Pittsburgh with the aura of someone who has seen it all, won it all, and endured the pressure that crushes most players long before they reach his level. That kind of resume changes how a quarterback views his surroundings. The speculation suggests that Rodgers may have expected a faster or clearer commitment to his vision, whether in play calling philosophy, personnel decisions, or overall direction. When those expectations are met with cautious pacing instead of bold alignment, frustration can quietly build. The Steelers are methodical by nature, an organization that rarely rushes into dramatic shifts. For Rodgers, who operates on instinct and conviction, that contrast could feel restrictive. The rumor leans heavily on the idea that respect exists on both sides, but respect alone does not guarantee harmony. Sometimes mutual respect makes separation easier, not harder, because both sides believe the other will understand. That belief can make difficult conversations more honest and more final. In that sense, the idea of Rodgers leaving does not have to be rooted in conflict. It can simply be rooted in the recognition that timing and philosophy no longer intersect the way they once did. Another piece of speculation focuses on how the Steelers' fan base factors into this equation, because few franchises carry such a deeply rooted and vocal following. Playing in Pittsburgh means performing under constant evaluation, not just from media, but from a community that lives and breathes football identity. Rodgers is no stranger to pressure, but every city applies it differently. The rumor hints that he may feel the weight of expectation more acutely here, especially given the comparisons to past legends and the demand for immediate dominance. In some markets, patience exists for transition periods. In Pittsburgh, patience is conditional. The fans respect pedigree, but they demand results that align with the franchise image. That environment can energize some players while exhausting others. Speculation suggests Rodgers may be reflecting on whether this atmosphere enhances his motivation or drains it. The Steelers, aware of their own standards, may also be questioning whether the partnership truly serves both sides long-term. When both a player and a franchise begin asking those questions internally, Even without urgency, the path toward separation often becomes clearer with time. Finally, the rumor persists because it taps into something larger than one quarterback or one team. It speaks to the modern reality of football, where legacy, control, and personal fulfillment matter as much as championships. Aaron Rodgers represents a generation of elite players who view themselves as collaborators, not just employees. Pittsburgh represents a tradition where the shield comes before any name. When those two worldviews intersect, the result can be powerful or unstable, sometimes both at once. The speculation suggests that both sides may already be imagining life beyond this partnership, not out of dissatisfaction, but out of realism. Rodgers may be considering how he wants his final chapters to feel, sound, and look. The Steelers may be considering how to protect their identity while navigating an evolving league. Rumors like this do not survive without substance, even if that substance is subtle. They survive because they reflect truths that people sense but cannot yet confirm. Until clarity arrives, the idea of Aaron Rodgers leaving the Steelers will remain suspended in that uneasy space between possibility and inevitability, fueling debate and anticipation with every passing moment. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.